Oh man, this game is just a blur after a while. You're just on autopilot. You're not even really putting in any effort. You're just kind of walking left to right. I don't have to engage with your enemies, and I really don't have to engage with your mechanics. I can just run to the end, you know?
I'll make a decision soon.
Oh no.
Okay, so this was the same team that did Blasphemous, which is one of my favorite games of the last few years for a lot of reasons. That deserves its own excellent review. They also did Blasphemous 2, which I didn't like nearly as much. I didn't think it was great. But it had really good boss fights, and it had really good mechanical design. The Game Kitchen is who they are. They make really good retro-style games like that. The Game Kitchen is really good at making, like, really mechanically competent games that are fun, with really cool, fun mechanics and good movement. And they did it here. They did a great job. They have a lot of really cool mechanics. They have too many mechanics, I'll be honest. Not that it's complicated to learn. It's that the more mechanics you give a player to use, the more ways you give a player to get out of a problem, the easier the game becomes. Honestly. Unless you start resorting to things like Kaizo-style levels, then you can bring the challenge back up, because then you really do have to use all those mechanics to get through. And in the later levels of the game, they do have Kaizo-style levels. And it's a really polished game. It's got really good art, and it controls very well, and the boss fights are good. They range from mid to great, but I'd say overall they're good. The levels design is good. A lot of different action set pieces, and it looks great, and it's fun getting through the levels. And I guess that's where I'll stop with the positives. So the biggest problem with this game right off the bat is Jim Power's the perfect balance. Yeah, if you want to be in an abusive relationship and Jim Power's the abusive husband, apparently I missed a key somewhere. So yeah, we're fucked. You can't get back. You can't get back. Dude, that's fucked up, man. I cannot believe that. Dude, Dude, that's just really messed up. And after being in the game for 10 years, you just kind of become conditioned to the abuse and then realize that, no, Jim loves me. Jim only hits me when I do wrong. And that's why I don't do wrong anymore. He takes care of me. He pays the bills. But anyway, so like the biggest problem with Jim Power, or oh my god, the biggest problem with, like, for one, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. I'm not sure if it's artificial padding or what they were thinking here, but you cannot start the game on hard mode. It's locked. Hard mode unlocked. Oh wow, should we beat it on hard mode right now? And you must complete the game on normal difficulty first, then you unlock hard mode. That's a huge problem, because when you're playing this game on normal difficulty, this is nothing like the original Ninja Gaidens. It is ridiculously easy. It is way too easy. Why is it easy? It's easy because the biggest problem is the placement of the checkpoints. There are so many checkpoints. Like, you can damage boost through a lot of this game. Oh shit. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay, bye-bye. Look at that! You can just barrel through everything. It's so, like, you can be so sloppy and just get through. You know, not in the spirit of the original Ninja Gaiden, but, you know, hey, still fun. Look at that, a checkpoint. Like, look at the health bar. Let's look at the health bar. You know, you can take a hit, and you might only lose 10% of your health. So you can, or less, it seems like maybe even less. So you can just, like, absorb, like, 10 or more hits before you're dead, if not more. you can damage boost through a lot of these sections and not even worry about it, because by the time you get to the next checkpoint, you could still take a hit or two. I mean, you can just kind of barrel through. And so it makes it a mind-numbing experience where you don't really need to engage with a lot of the mechanics a lot of the time. You know, games that are really, really hard, they make you utilize every tool at your disposal. This game, a lot of the mechanics just go to waste. A lot of the level design just goes to waste. You don't have an appreciation for it. Why don't you have an appreciation for it? Why would you? You don't need to engage with it. You just barrel through and you win. You know, that's a problem. The game is long. This game is really long for a retro game. I mean, honestly, like, I would never complain about having more good levels to play, but this game kind of overstays its welcome, because by the time you're hitting the later levels, they're really just kind of recycling things you've already seen in earlier levels. So you're just kind of doing the same thing again, just with a different color palette. Instead of riding a truck, you're riding a train. But you're still on an auto-scroller, right? Still the same concept. And the game does kind of wear out its welcome. That's not a huge flaw, because you don't have to beat it in one go. I would argue, ultimately, you're getting your money's worth because you have the extra content. There's also extra levels that I didn't even see because I'm not a true ninja. Yeah, by the end of the game, I was just really bored because I was just barreling through everything. Oh man, this game is just a blur after a while. You're just on autopilot. You're not even really putting in any effort. You're just kind of walking left to right. It's very, very good. Not to mention, the game has this downward slash like you would have in The Messenger, or Zelda 2, or Shovel Knight, where you can down slash an enemy and you'll just pop off of them. You can down slash on a lot of projectiles and you'll just pop off of them. This gives the player way too much freedom, because you can just literally pop off the top of enemies' heads all the way through a section. And it's not like it's a shell jump in Mario Maker or Super Mario World. It's not like it takes like a lot of skill or timing. It doesn't. You just press the button, because when you do that downward slash, the window of time, like imagine a Dark Souls roll, your invincibility window in a Dark Souls roll. This is like a huge window. This is way bigger window than that. You can do that downward slash thing and you got plenty of time. You can be sloppy with it and you'll hit it every time. And so you've got that freedom that just, again, negates even more the difficulty. Not to mention, one of the biggest components of the old Ninja Gaiden games was the knockback damage. Historically, Ninja Gaiden is known for its blazing fast movement, legendary difficulty, and tight mechanics, but it's just as well known for its blind trolls and difficulty spikes. And Ninja Gaiden 3 is widely considered the hardest game in the trilogy. Right? You get knocked back, you fall in a pit, you're gone. You're dead. Not here. In this game, you can recover from hits in mid-air. So if you go to jump over a pit and an enemy hits you, instead of being knocked back into the pit, you can just tap jump and you'll do a recover. You'll just do a mid-air hop and recover. And it's not a special ability, it takes no skill. Literally, you get hit, you're gonna fall in a pit, just hit jump. Just hit jump, and you'll just jump your way out of the problem. Get to the next section. It is entirely too easy. Whoa. I mean, this is like too much. I'm not saying, like I said, man, I'm not trying to be like, oh, you know, every game needs to be fucking Battletoads. That's not the case. Oh my God! He can fall right on your fucking head, bro. He just killed me. I just lost a life. But it's just too much. Like, they've put so many mechanics in the game to like get you out of problems. Not only that, dude, there's even more to discuss. Like, you've got this ultimate power-up move that regenerates like after you kill enough enemies or some crap like that, right? It's this ultimate power-up move. And it clears the screen, right? And if you take a death, for one, every time you take a death, they spawn you at a checkpoint. Not only do they spawn you at the checkpoint, which there's a million checkpoints, but they refill that clear screen, that power-up that clears the screen, they refill that completely automatically every time, and they completely refill your health bar. So it's just, the problem is, it's just like, on a fundamental level, it's just too much. The thing is, though, you can play this game. If this game was, like, difficult, if they got rid of the checkpoints, or, I think that's enough. I don't think you need to go with limited lives and limited continues. I think if you just got rid of the checkpoints, that would make a huge difference. But, like, in the game, when the first few levels of this game, you open up a shop, and in that shop, you can purchase items that power up your character. Bring more golden scarabs and I can upgrade your skills and equipment. Oh, wow. Okay, well, we have 4 bugs. But weirdly, you can purchase items that make the game way harder. And if you purchase those items, it automatically boosts your rank at the end of the level. Health orbs are removed from levels. Rank increased by 1. Oh shit, you can make it harder? Dude, you can make the game harder. Should we do it? Should we just buy everything that makes it harder? Death brings the bearer back to the beginning of the stage.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the?
Dude, if you die, you have to do the whole stage again. Damage received is tripled. Checkpoints don't recover your health. Health orbs are removed from the levels. Now, if you wanted to do that, you could. That'd be the way to play the game. Oh, wait, maybe they don't do that for hard mode? Refills, I mean? Well, I don't know. I'm on hard mode right now, and when I died and respawned, they refilled my health bar. Yeah, like, we still got a checkpoint, so it seems like the challenge in the game is just getting the ranks, getting maximum ranks. So it's one of those games where it's like, when you get the top accomplishment, it's just kind of a pat on the back, like, hey, you got the highest rank. Good job. Well, what do I get? Good job. It's like one of those. You know, I don't know. Just take a bunch of damage. You're not taking any more damage on hard mode. This is the same amount of damage I was taking on the normal mode. So we're not taking extra damage, at least in this part of the game, we're not. To me, it seems like hard mode's not even going to be hard. I think to play hard, you've got to go to the shop and buy those items that make the game, like, retro. You got to buy the retro items. They're very cheap. You'll be able to afford them very quickly, but yeah. It's just really weird that to get the true retro challenge, you have to beat a couple levels of the game, find currency, and then spend that currency in a shop to unlock the ability to have the true retro challenge. Isn't that weird? It's weird to me, but I could be misinterpreting it, but whatever. Whatever, the parameters. So the controls of the game are a 10 out of 10. There's no question at all. They're extremely good. I didn't have any complaints. Your character is really fluid, and to give it anything less, I mean, there's nothing I found to complain about, so 10. Level design, outstanding. Just really, really good, really fun. There's a couple bland levels here and there. There's a couple levels that have really long corridors where you're just kind of running through enemies. I don't have to engage with your enemies, and I really don't have to engage with your mechanics. I can just run to the end, you know? And they're kind of so-so, but by and large, they're very interesting, unique levels. They have Kaizo-style levels where you got to do a bunch of complicated mechanics. You do have to utilize all of your character's mechanics to get through the Kaizo sections. The Kaizo sections are, you know, reminiscent of, like, Celeste. They're very good. They're very fun. And the game keeps the level pacing up. Outside of the fact that they do become repetitive because it overstays its welcome and regurgitates ideas later on. But, you know, whatever. I'd rather get extra levels. Fuck it. So the level design overall, I'd give a 9. The enemy boss design. So this does have a lot of DNA from their previous games. Game Kitchen, like Blasphemous. Like, I noticed some similarities between the enemy patterns, actually, in their attacks and what I saw in Blasphemous. And that's not a bad thing because they didn't totally copy all of them. But there was some that I remember from Blasphemous, a few. And enemies overall have really cool patterns, a lot of enemy variety, a fuck ton of enemy variety. So you can't knock them for that at all. The bosses were good. Like I said, they range from, there was a couple that were mid. The majority of them were good, and a few of them were great, like really great. And so the boss and enemy design overall, I'd give a 9. I mean, it's really good. Really good. Graphics of the game are beautiful. They're gorgeous. The game has amazing set pieces. I mean, just looking at the main, this first level that we're in right now, I mean, it looks really, really good. This is a sexy-ass game with really good cutscenes. And, again, I mean, I'd give it like a 10. It's brilliant. So 10. the level designs are so varied. They all just feel different from each other for the most part. And it's just really good. I mean, they really did a number. All right, so mechanics. The mechanics are... Wait a second. I'm slipping, man. We got to knock this game somewhere. And I didn't even think about the level design. Okay, that's where we got to knock it because of the level design. The checkpoints, the way the checkpoints are situated is the level design, right? And that's, okay, I didn't even bother knocking it for that. So, yeah, it just makes the game, like, whoa, way too easy. And the checkpoints ruin the challenge and make it boring because it just takes all your satisfaction of accomplishment away. And when you take the player's sense of accomplishment away, you take the fun away. Not everybody has that opinion, but I do. And so I'm going to give it a 4. I know, that's fucked up, man, but, whatever. I got to knock them somewhere for it. I mean, whatever. I stand by it. Yeah, so the mechanics, there's a fuck ton of them. You've got the downward slash with your sword. You've got the clear the screen attack. You've got the projectiles. You've got 2 different projectiles that you can use. Those projectiles get recharged as you kill enemies. You've got an entire second character. You get to control her. She has her own mechanics that she uses. Jesus. You get a section of the game where both of you combine bodies, which changes your mechanics even further. You've got the shop where you can buy items. Like, this game is mechanic heavy, almost to a fault, really. To be real with you, this game didn't need a shop. Because the shop is meant to sell you items to make the game easier and power you up, right? I didn't use the shop the entire game. I didn't buy one item in that shop. And we didn't need it, not even coming close to needing to buy one item from the shop. So it was like too much. Now you can get into the weeds of the game. See, this is where you got to argue about the mechanics. Are there too many mechanics? Did you give the player too much freedom of movement? Because that's the thing that modern games love to do. They love to give the player like all kinds of crazy movement, kaizo mechanics. But the more you do that, the more intense you have to make the level design. If you're not giving the levels the intensity to match those mechanics, the player's just going to storm through all your shit. And that's what happens in a lot of this. There's sections where there are kaizo sections that are like intense, where you do have to play well. But then again, there's checkpoints everywhere, so you don't. But yeah, the mechanics overall, I think it's a little mechanic heavy, I'll be honest. I think that if it was more simplified and streamlined, it would have been better. But the mechanics are really good, and there are a lot of them. They're well thought out, and they work really well. So, I'll give the mechanics like an 8. The shop didn't need to be there, period, the end. I think hard mode removes the shop. Oh yeah, I did read that. Yeah, but that's not even hard. Yeah, you don't even need I didn't even go to the shop. And I'm telling you, it's not because I'm trying to be like, oh, I didn't need to go to the shop because I'm disease-free. No, it was like, I didn't go to the shop because it's not required. You saw, there's so many checkpoints. You don't even need the shop. That's funny. So yeah, they take the shop away. Like, ooh, hard. So yeah, the mechanics, yeah, whatever. It's like really mechanic heavy. It's personally not what I would have liked to see in a Ninja Gaiden game. Like, they just gave you way too many fucking kaizo moves. But then again, you could argue it is in the spirit of Ninja Gaiden, because in the old Ninja Gaiden games, yeah, there weren't all those crazy movement techniques, but Ryu was always a really fast ninja, and he could wall climb, and he could jump, and he could spin when he jumped, and he had special powers. So it was a mechanic heavy game for its day back then. So it does follow the spirit of it, honestly. So yeah, I'll stick with that. Someday I'll learn what kaizo is. Yeah, maybe that's a road you don't want to go down, actually. Oh my fucking god! You stupid fuck! You might want to hold off on that, man. Really. Programming, perfect. Not one problem. 10. Sound design. They remixed some of the original songs of the games. I think they had some original songs of their own. And I thought some of them were good. I wasn't really a big fan of their take on the Ninja Gaiden soundtrack. Really. It was okay. It's fine. Why didn't I like it all that much? I don't know. It's just some of the music to me seemed kind of just generic and forgettable. ish. I mean, the songs they did remake that were the original Ninja Gaiden songs. I can't recall which songs they are specifically, but I did recognize them. I would rather listen to the originals. I thought the originals were just better to listen to. So the soundtrack's okay. I give the soundtrack a 5. The sound design, though, is good. But nothing in the game really stood out to me sound-wise, really. So I'll give it a 5. It's good enough. And the fun factor. So this is where they're going to take a big hit for sure. Hey, don't worry, Banghead. You and the rest of chat missed it. This stream has been a ghost town. Chat's been a ghost town. Only now people are talking. Only a couple people have been talking. I don't blame them. I couldn't sit through this as a viewer, really. If I was watching a friend even a friend I liked play this, I wouldn't even be watching the game. I'd probably just be sitting talking to them. Just focused on what I'm talking to them about and not even looking at the game. But yeah. So if it takes away the shop in the hard mode, then what would be the point of the hard parts in the shop? Yeah, that's interesting. If you play on hard mode, you can't go to the shop to buy the items to make the game even harder. That's fucking hilarious. That's so true. That's funny. That's right. That's exactly right. If you go to the shop and buy the true hard items, like you take triple damage, you get sent back to the beginning of the level if you take a death, or we can get rid of the checkpoints. And I forget there's one more. Your health doesn't get refilled at all at the checkpoint, I think is another one you can buy or something. That's the true retro way. Clearly, you don't want to pick all of them, but you pick a few of them. And I'm not a big fan of games with ambiguous difficulties like that. I mean, I guess you can't call it an ambiguous difficulty. I guess they give you a benefit for picking it because they boost your ranking in the levels. Each item you activate that makes the game harder boosts your rank by 1. So it makes the ultimate chance that you'll get S+ rank. So you do get something in return for it. And I'm sure there's an extra level you can play if you get all S ranks, but at the end of the day, that's just a lot of shit to go through and a lot of hoops to jump through just to see a different ending screen and maybe a couple extra levels. For me, I'm not motivated enough to do that. I would have much rather they just gave me a hard mode and called it a day, but I'm an old elderly man, so I don't know. I'm a boomer man. I'm stuck in the olden days or something. I don't remember if I've been back since you beat zombies, but congrats on that one. Oh, man, I know. That was crazy. I broke my TV on that stream. I threw my controller at the TV and broke it. That's the first time I've done that. That's crazy. Get me the fuck out of here now. I have one life. I have one fucking life. I have one more life.
Call bullshit on that.
This actually happened. This is why we don't throw controllers. I can't read chat right now because I just broke my TV. Well, it happens. Sometimes you just gotta bust the TV, you feel me? That was a good time. That was memorable. That's good content. That's what you get when you put the player in a bullshit situation. That's how you get the most epic streams. That's how you get the most memorable times. That's how you get the best content. That's how you get the most hype chat. You gotta have that brutal experience, or for me, it's just hollow. And maybe I'm the broken one, but whatever. I know, I was pretty proud of that clear. This game, however, clearing this gave me no sense of satisfaction. But anyway, to finish the verdict. So, the fun factor of the game was not fun. I mean, it's really sad. There's a really fun game here if the parameters were set correctly on the difficulty, but they're not. And so all this kind of awesome game just goes to waste, really. It's just a slog of mind-numbing jump through shit, and it's long. It's just, not fun. It's not all that... It has fun parts in it, but it's just like I said, entirely too easy. Man, I didn't have much fun with it, really. I'm going to rate it between a 3 and a 4. They really pissed me off the way they locked that difficulty mode, and the hard mode's not even hard. You don't even need to unlock hard mode to get the true experience. You just have to beat a few levels of the game, open up the shop, go to the shop, buy the items that make the game harder, activate those, then beat the game, and then you can be playing it the retro way. A lot of hoops to jump through, huh? Kind of convoluted, isn't it? Why is it like that? That's a really good question. But anyway, yeah, fun factor. I'm going to go ahead and give the fun factor of the game, like, I just didn't have much fun. I mean, it was fun. The boss fights were fun. I give it, I don't know, fuck it, man. I'll give it a 4. And so, yeah, let's add that up real quick. I mean, I guess I could do basic math in my head, but 6.8. 6.8 out of 10. Okay, and the difficulty. From 1 to 10, if I would have gave the fun factor a 3, that would have brought it to a 6.5. But the boss fights were fun, and the boss fights were challenging enough to be entertaining, honestly. But yeah, the difficulty. So, like, the difficulty of the game, there's only difficulty in this game, really, is the bosses. And the bosses are really a medium difficulty. And there's a lot of bosses. There's really only, like, 1 or 2 bosses that I was, like, legit was, like, I was like, oh, this is hard. But even the hardest bosses in this game don't come close to comparing to some of the hardest bosses you'd play in some retro games. What's the scale? The easiest game I've ever played is probably Kirby's Epic Yarn on Wii. That game is like, oh my god, dude, if anybody's ever played that, the challenge in that game is staying awake. That game is ridiculously easy. So Kirby's Epic Yarn would be like a 1. Battletoads or Halo Legendary or something like that would be like a 10. And so this game I would give the difficulty really like, it's really like, the checkpoints just make it so trivial. I'd give the difficulty in the game like a 3, honestly. And so there. The final verdict on Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. What were they thinking? Their difficulty balancing. I don't fucking get it. Now, really the question is this better than Trans World Surf? You can tell me. I don't know. You play through this, and then you can tell me.
What about Chris Ward?
Okay, I'm going to tell you this right now, Coanger. I never want to hear Chris Ward brought up in my channel ever. I don't want to hear his name. I don't want to see his picture. I don't want you to say things that rhyme with Chris Ward, because that is one way to trigger me, and that's bring up Chris Ward. I hate Chris Ward.
What? Who we hating on?
Chris Ward.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, that's the second place surfer in Trans World Surf. And he's always in second place. He's a rubber banded AI character.
Let's just shoot him.
You can't say that!
You can't say that.
Well, he's not real. He
is real.
Yeah, he's real, Coing. Or he's real. He's based off a real person, Iron.
Yeah, he's based on a real person, not a real surfer.
Well, let's just go like fucking beer pong and...
You know what? You got more satisfaction out of beating Trans World Surf. Because that's a game that challenged you and made you figure stuff out, and you felt satisfied for clearing it. This game gave me no satisfaction.
Garbage! I'm done. We're not playing this. We're skipping it.
Yeah. This game, I learned nothing. I gained no skill. I feel no accomplishment for beating it. And I feel like I kind of wasted my time. But who knows? That's the content gamble. Yeah, this whole game reminded me of like in Mario 3D Land, when you die too much. There's a Mario power-up in some Mario games where if you die too much, they give you this invincibility power-up where you can't die. And essentially, that's what's in this game, except instead of the power-up, it's the checkpoints. That's what really makes it so you can't fail. It's just so strange to me. I just don't get it. Blasphemous was a reasonably challenging game. 30 and 40-year-olds now were hardened by the NES hard DOS games. Yeah, that's true. And not only that, but like even younger people that play Fortnite or Call of Duty all the time, there's younger gamers out there that are ballers. Why do they play that? Is it because their friends play Call of Duty? I'm sure that's part of it. Their friends play Fortnite? That's part of it. You know, but there's a competitive element. You gotta be fucking good. And kids are good at games. Like, you know, kids can play games well. Can you believe it? They still can. Probably better than we could back then. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Why make a retro game to cater to the younger audience? Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know who this game's catering to. I don't think this is catering to a young audience, I'll be honest. Because I think like whenever you make a retro style game, it's just kind of understood. And I could be, you know, I don't know, but I would assume that anybody who's making a retro style game just assumes it's going to be going to like the, you know, the 30-year-old at least demographic, maybe like mid 20s to 40s demographic, because, you know, kids aren't typically interested in these style of graphics from what I've experienced, but I don't know. Why are games so easy nowadays? What happened to old school? You know what's funny is just like, it's not hard to make a hard mode in a game done right. So, I mean, it takes extra work though. That's the problem. Like for an example, like Resident Evil, Capcom, the modern Resident Evil games, they have the worst, laziest hard mode. The only thing that happens in Resident Evil, the enemies have like double health, you take double damage, and they may move a little bit faster. And what the fuck does that accomplish? That just makes the game more tedious to get through. Because now you're sitting there having to barrel through enemies with like double. It takes like twice as long to kill everything. It's just so long. Like it's the lazy version of a hard mode. But then there's good versions of a hard mode. Like Contra on Super Nintendo. They actually change enemy layouts, and I forget all that they do, but they have like a comprehensive hard mode that changes enemy placement. I would just, you know, rather than have, I would rather just like keep the standard difficulty of a game hard, as hard as you want it to be, and then scale it down. Stop the default from being so fucking easy and then having the player scale up. Because every time you scale up in these modern games, most times it's lazy the way they do it. It's not any real additional challenge. It is harder technically, but it's more tedious and not fun. You know what I mean? But whatever. I'm probably just being a dick about it. Disease Free doesn't realize he's on a god tier level of gaming, having finished games like Silver Surfer. Fuck my life. Silver Surfer's not the hardest shmup. You know what? They give you like so many continues. They give you like 4 continues or 4 continues or something, and you get multiple lives within continues, and you can earn extra lives. The thing that makes Silver Surfer truly brutal is the lack of a turbo button. It's exhausting, dude. When you have to mash a button that quickly, that long for hours and hours, it's exhausting, it's tiring. My hand was fucking gone by the end of that. That's what really makes that game brutal, really. The difficulty is, I'd say, a higher difficulty than an average game, but it's absolutely doable. It's the turbo that fucks you. And you get to practice the levels out of order. So if like there's a level that's giving you problems in Silver Surfer, don't start that one first. When you game over, start the one that's giving you the problems, like that. It's actually a good game. I stand by it that Silver Surfer is a good game. Did everybody have a good time? Lie.
99. 99.